Under the weather. Meaning feeling ill or getting a cold. Example: my mom was feeling a bit under the weather. Cold feet. Meaning becoming nervous. Example: it was her chance to speak and she was getting cold feet. Apple of my eye. Meaning used to refer to someone whom you are very fond of or like. Example: my younger brother is the apple of my eye. Set the record straight. Meaning to reveal the truth or to clarify. Example: he set the record straight by saying he shared his toys with everyone. Kill two birds with a stone. Meaning achieve two results by doing one thing. Example: I'll kill two birds with one stone by studying while waiting for the bus. Snowed under. Meaning to be busy. Example: my father seems to have been snowed under for the last few weeks. To break someone's bubble. Meaning to do or say something that proves someone else's beliefs are not true. Example: Jack just broke my bubble when he said that he was a part of it. Walk on eggshells. Meaning to be very careful with your actions and words. Example: talking to my mom about my grades made me feel like I was walking on eggshells. Bite the bullet. Meaning finish something no matter how unsatisfying or unpleasant it is. Example: she didn't like spinach, but she bit the bullet and ate it anyway. Make two ends meet. Meaning to have just enough money for all your needs. Example: Harry and Hanny are finding it really difficult to make two ends meet. Cut corners. To reduce expenses. For example, I often cut corners in order to buy something for my brother. Pretty penny. Something expensive. For example, the dress she wants for her birthday will cost a pretty penny. Through thick and thin. To stay by someone's side in both good and bad times. For example, my friends are always there for me, through thick and thin. Beat around the bush. To avoid saying something directly. For example, Jason's neighbor kept beating around the bush and did not give a direct answer. Hang in there. To stay strong during a difficult time. For example, hang in there, everything will be okay before you know it. Break a leg. A way to say, good luck. For example, the teacher asked us to break a leg at the annual day dance. Steal someone's thunder. To take attention or praise away from someone else. For example, Monica claimed that Rachel tried to steal her thunder. Call it a day. To stop doing something for the day. For example, after the movie, we had planned to go to the beach, but we decided to call it a day as everyone was tired. Better late than never. To do something later rather than not at all. For example, well, we thought it was better late than never, but where are the others? To be at loggerheads with someone. To quarrel or disagree. For example, Tom and Jerry are always at loggerheads about who gets to play first. Cup of tea. Not something that a person would do. For example, cooking has never been Rachel's cup of tea. Stick to your guns. To stay morally strong or be firm in decisions, especially when being opposed. For example, the lawyer asked Rakesh to stick to his guns if he wants to win the case. Speak of the devil. A phrase used to refer to a person who appears as soon as they are being mentioned. For example, speak of the devil, here he comes. Leave no stone unturned. To look everywhere without missing a spot or to take every effort possible to achieve something. For example, the police were determined not to leave any stone unturned. Clouds on the horizon. Problems or trouble. For example, Vishnu sensed that there were multiple clouds on the horizon. A blessing in disguise. Something that you think is bad but turns out to be a blessing. For example, me catching a cold was a blessing in disguise. Blue in the face. To be exhausted due to strain or anger. For example, Usha looked blue in the face after the marathon. Make a long story short. To say something in simple words in a brief manner. For example, we decided to cut the long story short and tell them what actually happened at the mall. Beating a dead horse. Overdoing something or an action that is pointless. For example, she was just beating a dead horse and thinking she could change his mind. Let sleeping dogs lie. To stop discussing something that is already over or sorted out. For example, the police had warned us to let sleeping dogs lie and move ahead with our lives. A piece of cake. An easy task. For example, solving the Wordle every day was just a piece of cake. Time is money. To work quickly in the time that is left. For example, the manager encouraged the employees to realize that time is money and work harder. Let the cat out of the bag. Reveal a secret carelessly. For example, Ed Harsh just let the cat out of the bag by revealing the gender of the baby. Elephant in the room. A controversial problem or a major issue. For example, we had to identify the elephant in the room before we made a decision. Worth its weight in gold. To be highly valuable. For example, every word of what you say is worth its weight in gold. To weather the storm. To go through something difficult. For example, my mom taught me how to stand strong and weather the storm. On top of the world. A state of extreme happiness. For example, Nia seemed to be on top of the world since she heard the news of her son's promotion. Cost an arm and a leg. Used to refer to something that is extremely expensive. For example, I think it will cost an arm and a leg to get the car my brother wants. To say in a nutshell. To sum up the points and be brief. For example, the teacher asked us to quote the findings in a nutshell. Get your act together. To stop fooling around and do something in the way it should be done. For example, it is time you get your act together and do something useful. It's not rocket science. Not that difficult to comprehend. For example, cooking sambar is easy. I will figure it out. After all, it is not rocket science. Let someone off the hook. Releasing someone or letting someone go. For example, the court decided to let the guy off the hook as there was no evidence proving his crime. Like two peas in a pod. Be together always. For example, my cousin and I are always like two peas in a pod. Get out of hand. Not in one's control anymore. For example, the situation has gotten out of hand, and there is nothing anyone here can do to help. Know which way the wind blows. To understand what is happening. For example, as a detective, you are always obliged to learn which way the wind blows and then make a statement. Hit the nail on the head. To do something the exact way it should be done also refers to giving a direct answer. For example, Harish hit the nail on the head with his decision to buy this piece of land. Like riding a bicycle. A skill that you learn and will never forget. For example, learning a language is like riding a bicycle, you will never forget it. Blame one's tools. Blaming something on someone else. For example, when he understood he had no way out of the problem, he blamed his tools. Spill the beans. Reveal a secret. For example, Remya spilled the beans about her sister coming to her mom. Catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. Getting what you want by being nice. For example, if you ask politely, you may be able to catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.